saw a picture of the Tuskegee Airmen, and they were all members of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And I've just asked if all the Tuskegee Airmen were members of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
I guess that no.
Yes, ma'am.
How has fighting in the war changed your life?
How has fighting in the war changed your life?
Say it again.
How has fighting in the war changed your life?
Thank God for Hitler. Somebody said, what the hell are you talking about? If Hitler had not started World War II, a black man with a PhD and a master's degree would end up in the post office. It allowed us the opportunity to become part of the United States Army, Air Corps, Army, Marine, so forth. It started, really, kept on the civil rights movement. It's all part of the civil rights movement. I always said, thank God for Hitler. He made some stupid, idiotic moves. He didn't allow the ME-262 to be used as a fighter. And he made some other stupid attitude, but great. My attitude, thank God for the war. More than likely, the civil rights movement would have happened later, but I think the war brought it on. It's the opportunity.
One other thing was the GI Bill.
Oh yeah.
And the benefits that I have right now. By the way, 5 boys in my family were all in the service. They all in combat duty. 3 were in the Pacific and 2 of them were in the European theater. But that was one of the benefits, actually, that by being in the service, was the benefits.
Yes.
Let me ask a serious question. A couple years ago, I saw, and I didn't know this, but the support troops, the crew chiefs and the people who maintain the aircraft were trained at Chanute Air Force Base. And if you're aware of that, I mean, I'm sort of partial to that because I was an aircraft maintenance officer, and I went through Chanute too, and I didn't know that it had that legacy of black airmen and the airmen that were trained to service the planes in the Tuskegee Airmen. Would you have a comment on that?
All of our mechanics were black.
Yes.
Let me say it this way. Same old saying. I can repeat this. Some guy said, Lieutenant went out to his plane and said, hey Sarge, how's my plane? It's not your damn airplane, Lieutenant, it's my airplane, I'll let you use it. Seriously. Listen, if something happens to your automobile, you don't take your tools out and work on it. What do? You take it to the man. I didn't know a darn thing about that airplane. The propeller, the hydraulics, the flaps, the engine. The mechanic was a real hero. Every time I give a presentation, the mechanics are the ones who are the real heroes. Because we glorify.
By the way, when we were going missions, and I'm not sure how this went, but anyway, when you went on a mission, you came back home, you got a shot of liquor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I felt that alcohol and gasoline do not mix. So I told the fellow that was in charge of the liquor dispense, I said, I'll tell you what you do. Now, you just write down, when I go on mission, that I had this shot, and when you get a full bottle, give me the whole bottle. Yeah, hold it out. Now, this friend that got shot down, he was the same way. We call our crew chiefs up and give them a party. I didn't even drink beer, but beer goes in one and quickly out the other. We save our beer and our liquor and get boxes from home. We give them a party. You kept those crew chiefs happy.
You better believe it. Absolutely. He's God and Jesus.
Yes, ma'am.
Question?
Well, that's the only thing about Red Tails. It showed that we had to have a drink before we could fly. And that's false.
That's a
Right,
lie.
exactly, right.
That's a lie. But that's all part of Red Tail. We'll get to that later on. Yeah.
I just want to thank you so much for your service, and I'm just so happy to even be breathing the same air as you guys right now. To be very honest. I wanted to ask about how you tackled racism on an individual level between person to person in your communities and your neighborhoods after the war. Did your service help you tackle racism differently on an individual level when you came back?
I had racism right here in Detroit before I left. I lived in a small town, Armada, Michigan, and I went to, I think it was here, that they had a Future Farmers of America for a week. My mother fixed my lunch in a paper bag, things that wouldn't spoil, because I knew that I couldn't eat in restaurants. When we got to Ann Arbor, we stopped at a restaurant. I stayed on the bus, everybody got off. We had 5 Greyhound buses full of people from all over the country. My teacher asked me, why are you sitting on the bus? I said, they will not serve me. There's no use me going in. He said, well, we're going in and you're going to sit at my table. I said, don't make any difference, they still won't serve me. But we went in and same thing happened. They served everybody but our table. He wanted to know why they weren't serving me. I said, because I'm sitting here. If I leave, you can be served. So he called a waitress over. She said, it's not me, it's the manager. So he blew his whistle, said, everybody back to the bus. They will not serve Frederick, and we're not eating here. The manager had received money, all his tables, 5 buses with 52 people on each bus. He had received all this money for food. So we all went back to the bus and they called him and he comes. And he said, well, due to the circumstances, we'll serve you. So that's one thing that I accomplished. But I went to the field house and there was a girl there with a black horse. She made it her business to bring this horse in front of me in parade, and she called the horse nigger. So I stood there and my white friend says, are you going to take that? I said, nothing I can do but listen to what she had to say. But she kept making motions for the horse to do things. The horse finally threw her. She landed right in front of me. I said, well, I guess nigger showed you.
You're alive to tell that story.
But as far as segregation, I had it here before I even went south, so I knew what it was all about.
Of course.
Well, I grew up in the South, and my experience has been this. All white people are not bad,
No.
Thank God. That's right.
and all black people are not good.
You better believe it.
And when I go out to speak to groups, mostly school children, they ask about this. You learn how to cope. Now, when I went to high school, it was integrated in Ohio. And by the way, I'm gonna step on some folks' toes in here. I went to high school in Ohio. Ohio.
As long as it's not Columbus, it's okay.
Well, I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna rub it in. I'm not gonna rub it in. But you learn how to cope. My parents said when they sent me over there, you going over there to get an education. you ignore what they have to say because you're not gonna be around here long. You going on to college, and they still be back here doing what they're doing, and you moving on. And that's what I told my children. Don't be judged. I mean, don't be bothered by what people say about you, because trouble ain't gonna last always. So that was our answer to it.
What got me through? I don't know how my dad bought a house on 28th Michigan Avenue in a Polish neighborhood. Only black family within 5 blocks. I literally had to fight my way home from primary school. Helen. One day I came home bloody, and my mother said, "What happened?" "He called me a nigger." I remember looking at my mother dead in the eye. She said, "Alexander?" "Yeah, Mom." "Are you a nigger?" "No, Mom." "Then why were you fighting?" No matter what you say, you can call me any kind of word. I have developed the attitude that everybody in the world is crazy, except you and me. They're stupid, idiotic, I can use some other deleted words. I put a wall around me. Every now and then, they're all crazy except you and me. And sometimes I'm not so sure about you. No, seriously. This is what I used to tell kids all the time, 7th and 8th graders. This bullying business. Young people call each other names, and these names get to these kids. I had to teach these kids and convince them that if you don't understand yourself and love and understand and have respect for yourself inwardly, not this sexual love, I'm talking about love of yourself. Nobody can bully you, call you all kinds of names. You can call you black, MF, SOB. Yeah, well, that's your problem. I know you're a lousy, crummy, stinking, no good so-and-so in the first place, so I didn't even worry about you. Then, in the Civil Rights Movement, we had Martin Luther King. Literally some of the same thing, love your neighbor. But at the same time, Malcolm came along and said, hell no. If you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. You see, we're caught between it. How I got through? I'm 5 years old, we go downtown to Hudson's. And I want to go to the bathroom. My mom says, nope, you hold it until we get home. All the way out Michigan Avenue till I get to 28th Street, go behind a tree and relieve myself. Racism. Chatsey High School, 1938. Class goes to Boblo or Tajmu or somewhere. Automatically, blacks didn't go. I didn't even think about it. How I got through? Going down to Clark College in Atlanta. Drive down US 25, 27, 2-lane. I knew exactly where to stop and where not to stop. To buy gas. Take your own food. Chicken. I lived in Atlanta 4 years. Walk down the sidewalk, white woman come up, you step off into the street automatically. How you do it? Because to survive. How many people here have ever seen the Ku Klux Klan march in their white robes? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Tell them about it. The feeling. How many have seen chain gangs in the South? See? Tell them about it. Don't get arrested in the South. I just read that book. Slavery to this day, where black men were arrested for nothing, put in jail. Well, that's all part of my life. Part of the experience that we've been through, and how we coped, we survived.